Hello students, in this particular audio presentation I will start a completely new chapter. The name of the chapter is Silk Road. It is written by Nick Middleton. Actually a lot of things I will say before I begin the chapter. Actually it is a travelogue and it is related with the narrator's journey or the author's journey towards Mount Kailash. And travelogue actually means a travel account. Here also we will find a sort of a travel account as written by Nick Middleton related with his journey. It's a mountainous expedition also, we can say. Now I am just starting the text a bit. Listen very carefully. It might take a lot of time and I might upload quite a few more audios related with this chapter, because it's a new chapter as I already told you, and it is written, its style is a bit different also, because at the very beginning you will find that the description of nature has been seen by the narrator from the top summit. Summit means from a higher altitude. So, and few terms like base camp, then name of some Tibetan places also you will find here. That I will also discuss as I will proceed. And I already told you that the style of writing is a bit different, and the description of nature has been observed by the narrator from the top summit. So, the very first line, a flawless half moon floated in a perfect blue sky. On the morning we said our goodbyes. Now, a flawless half moon means the moon is very clear, the moon is very distinct, and it is perfect blue sky. And these things are actually the morning scene. Actually, the author is about to move out from one base camp, and he is about to travel to other place, moving from this base camp. And before he is about to exit from this base camp, he is about to say goodbye to those friendly Tibetans with whom he stayed, maybe for a week or maybe for a couple of days. Extended banks of cloud like French loaves. Loaves actually means pieces of bread. Now the clouds are being compared with French loaves. Glowed pink as the sun emerged to splash the distant mountain tops with a rose tinted blush. Now the clouds are being compared with French breads, and they are glowing with the pinkish color or the pinkish glow. And the scene I already told you, it's an early morning time. Now that we were leaving Ravu, now Ravu, I already told you at the very beginning that I might mention words like base camp and all this. Ravu is a base camp, and it seems that the author is leaving this place and he is about to say goodbye to those friendly Tibetans who had taken care of him, and he want to thank them for their generous hospitality towards him. Now that we were leaving Ravu, Hamu, L is silent, said she wanted to give me a farewell present. Now a friendly Tibetan by the name of Hamu, she wanted to give the author a sort of a farewell present. Now what was that present? We will get to know right now. One evening I had told her through Daniel. I had told her through Daniel it means that Daniel is the interpreter. Maybe Hamo was not so fluent in English, and the author he can't communicate in Tibetan language. So both Hamo and the author needed a sort of a person who will translate for both of them, and that person was Daniel. Later you will find that this person by the name of Daniel will also accompany the author. So let me continue. One evening, I had told her through Daniel that I was heading towards Mount Kailash. I already told you it is a travelogue, travel account, or a travel journey. You can name it as you please. And the main purpose of this travel journey is to reach Mount Kailash. And why the author want to reach? Because it was his mission. And he told Hamo while he was staying in the base camp in Ravu that his main mission was to move towards Mount Kailash to complete the Kora. Kora is also another Tibetan term. Kora means pilgrimage. Now he wanted to complete the pilgrimage mission. So Kora is a Tibetan term. You will find many more Tibetan terms in this chapter as we will proceed. So I told her through Daniel that I was heading towards Mount Kailash to complete the Kora. And she had said that I ought means supposed, ought to get some warmer clothes. And remember, I told you previously also in the course of my discussion that after ought, every time there will be a preposition to. Supposed to, that is the meaning of ought to. So when she heard that I was about to move towards Mount Kailash to complete my pilgrimage, she decided that I needed some warmer clothes. After ducking back into her tent, ducking back means after moving back again into her tent and base camp. So the entire thing is going on in the base camp near Ravu, and the author is about to depart from Ravu. So Hamu realized that since the author told her previously that he is about to proceed towards Mount Kailash to complete his pilgrimage journey towards Mount Kailash to complete the Kora of the pilgrimage. So Hamo remembered that the author needed some warmer clothes. So he moved again back into the tent and came out with long sleeved sheepskin coats that all the men wore. It is also a traditional dress for the Tibetan mountaineers or mountain people, for the men or male mountain people, that is long sleeved sheepskin coats, but actually it is worn by both male and female, and it is very warm. It can keep the author very warm in the high altitude. So she came out of her tent bringing with her a long sleeved sheepskin coats that all the men wore. Shitan sized me up as we clambered into his cart. Clambered means as we went inside his car. Ah, yes, he declared. Drogba, sir. Now, Drogba, actually it is another Tibetan term that is related with shepherds. Tibetan shepherds are known as Drogba. So, Hamo kept her promise. She went inside the tent and she came out with a long sheepskin coat and gave it to the author as a farewell present. After that, the author and Daniel, I already told you, Daniel and another person by the name of Shitan, you will find it where T is silent in his name, they too will accompany the author. And these three people will move towards Mount Kailash. As we'll proceed in the story, we'll get to know about it. So finally, the author left Ravu and accompanied by Daniel. Another character Shitan will come also here later. So now he is moving towards his pilgrimage spot, that is towards Mount Kailash. And Drogba is a Tibetan term. It means Tibetan shepherd. So last line, Shitan sized me up. Shitan is the another character. Daniel and Shitan I already told you. Shitan sized me up as we clambered into his car. So the car belongs to Shitan. Ah, yes, he declared. Drogba, sir. Now, Drogba, sir, it can also means that the sheepskin coat, after it was owned by the author, he was also looking like a Tibetan shepherd. So, I discussed the very first paragraph. In the very first paragraph, the main thing that happens is that the author is describing the place, the nature, the early morning time, the scene in the early morning that can be seen from the base camp of Ravu. And we get to, we are ourselves acquainted with the main purpose of the author's visit. His main purpose was that he wanted to journey towards Mount Kailash, and we get to know about some other characters, like we get to know about Hamu, we get to know about Daniel, then there is another character Shitan, and we get to know that Hamu presented the narrator with a sheepskin coat. Why? Because as the narrator told her, obviously Daniel interpreted what the narrator told to Hamu, that he is proceeding towards Mount Kailash as it was a part of his Koda. That is a Tibetan word that you know because I told you it's all about pilgrimage. So higher altitude, he needed some warmer clothes, and that is the reason Hamu presented the narrator with a farewell present, and that is a sheepskin coat. And finally, when he wore that particular sheepskin coat, when he was wearing it, he was looking like a Tibetan shepherd. That is the reason Shitan told him that Drogba, sir, you are looking like a Tibetan shepherd. Actually, Drogba is another term. It's a Tibetan term. It means Tibetan shepherd because those sheepskin coat were actually owned by the Tibetan shepherds. So, in this particular audio presentation, I have discussed the very first paragraph. In my next audio presentation, I will move on with the second paragraph of this particular chapter. So, dear students, this is a new chapter. I have already started it, and I will go on very slowly so that the concept is clear to you all. Listen to this audio presentation and clear your doubts if any. Thank you, students. Thank you all.